There's an idea about emotions that can be uncomfortable at first, but incredibly important, because it explains why life often feels harder than it needs to. We tend to think that emotions flow directly out of situations. We talk as though reactions simply happen to us. They made me angry. That stressed me out. As if the event directly caused our reaction. But even though we think and speak that way, it's pretty easy to see that something else is going on. The proof is simple. Everyone has someone in their life with some consistent, mildly irritating behavior. On some days, it drives you crazy, and on other days, you barely care. Same situation, different reaction. Why? The first, usually hidden factor is your burden. When you are already tired, stressed, behind, overwhelmed, or in pain, your reactions get amplified. The second factor is your interpretation. If you take the exact same event and you apply it to 100 different people, you get 100 different reactions because each person interprets it differently. Can you see what's happening here? Emotional reactions are secretly a reaching hand system. If our burden and interpretation are such that we cannot reach the reality of the situation, we get a failure, a bad emotional reaction. The situation matters, and some situations are genuinely awful or damaging, hard or impossible to reach across the gap and handle it well. But we are not helpless victims of circumstance either. We bring something into every interaction. When we bring a high burden or unhelpful interpretation, it causes amplified negative emotional reactions, which themselves are new burdens. They drain energy, attention, and emotional bandwidth and make the rest of our life harder. However, if we can reduce our burden and gradually change how we interpret situations, then we can have neutral or even positive emotional reactions to a greater percentage of life. Hard things become less painful, and we recover faster. Now again, in one 3-minute video, I'm pointing you toward a multi-year journey. Emotional intelligence, emotional healing, and emotional maturity are long grinds. But I can attest that change is possible. 5 years ago, I had almost no emotional intelligence to my name. Now, I regularly have moments that once would have made me furious, but I can see that now they don't, because I interpret them differently and I carry less burden than before. The goal is not to become numb. The goal is not to ignore reality and pretend like bad things aren't actually bad. But the goal is to stop adding unnecessary emotional weight to our life. Every bit of emotional load that we can reduce makes the rest of our life easier. And if we can change our burden and our interpretations, we can make our emotions happier for free.